Well, all right! Welcome back to As Should Be. Paul Berlino here. And, I have with me Chris Durant, Tommy Von Voigt, and, we're starting a new series. We're starting a new series where we're going to be discussing our top favorite singles of each individual year, starting at 54. I thought, what's a random year where we can just start this, and I just threw a dart at a wall that had a bunch of years, and 54 was the year that it hit.
He's not lying, actually. I'm looking at the wall in the studio, and it's covered in holes.
Right.
Yes.
Really what it was is that 54 is when Rock Around the Clock came out, and so I thought, well, that's a good starting point. However, 54 isn't when it was a hit, so, but either way, we stuck with 54. So
that's fine.
Yeah, but as people will soon see, 54 was an incredibly challenging year to start this on.
It's all a bit challenging. It is a bit challenging, but
well, the 50s in general were challenging. In fact, we're only doing a top 5 for 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59. We're not starting to the top 10 until 1960.
Yes, we're doing. But for the most of the series, we're going to be doing top 10s. But the 50s. It's a little tough getting 10 for each year in the 50s. Not for Tommy.
Well, you'd be surprised. The 50s were more challenging for me than I thought they would be.
Okay. Tommy was trying to, was at first kind of going, let's do 10 for 50s. And I'm going,
That's too much.
Late 50s, yes. Early 50s, whoa. Yeah.
And by late 50s, you mean like 58, 59?
Once we get to 58, 59, things really start picking up.
That's different, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, so, now what I want to do, and I guess we'll do this live on camera. Now, see, normally when we do these videos, we go Crystal, me, and Tommy, right? And that's just sort of the way we go. What I want to do for each episode is start with a different person, meaning like for this one, we'll start with Crystal, then me, then you. Then when we do 55, I'll start, and Tommy, and then Tommy will start. The reason being because we're going to have overlap on our lists.
This is true.
Where there are going to be lots of songs that we're all going to be talking about, and everybody should get equal opportunity to speak first about songs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, since we're doing the 50s, and since this is the first episode of the 50s, if we want to be really authentic to the 50s, the right way to do it is has Crystal go first, and then we'll both give literally the exact same list, but with completely devoid of soul, and then ours will be more popular.
And go, man, I think Paul and Tommy have really, those guys are the ones.
If you want to really be authentic to what the 50s was doing.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll be coming back around to that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.
Okay, well, let's get started. And on this episode, we are going to start with Crystal.
All right, I'm going to start. It is the year 1954, and it was not that hard for me to get through this list, but it did take me some time because when you think of 1954, you think of all the pop stuff and all of that, which there's a whole lot, and but then I went deeper, I guess. So my number 5 song is Rags to Riches by Tony Bennett, because I love Tony Bennett.
That's your number 5, right?
That's my number 5.
Yeah. Nice choice.
And that is one of my all-time favorites by him. I mean, his standards, it's Tony fucking Bennett. My number 4 is Hey Bartender by Floyd Dixon, which has been covered a zillion billion times, but this version I think is the best. My number 3 is That's Amore by Dean Martin.
Yes.
Because you can't. You
gotta have Dean.
You have to have Dean Martin, and that's, oh man. And then that was my number 3, right? My number 2 is Bop Tingling by Laverne Baker, which is not her most popular song, but it is a really great song, and I like it above the others. I don't know. I got on the listening jag when I lived in LA with these people who were in the blues, and I really like that better. And then my number 1 song is Manish Boy by Muddy Waters.
Manish
Boy. And I think everybody knows that song, even if they don't know it was Muddy Waters, but you've heard it, at least the first verse and the hook. Mm-hmm. Everybody's heard that. Yep. Yeah. So those are the songs that I love.
Okay.
Did you have any honorable mentions?
I did not have any honorable mentions.
But when do you want to add the honorable mentions?
Well, we're doing this for the first time right now, so there's going to be a little bit of growing pains here. So you watch us figure things out live and on the fly. Well, basically, if we have honorable mentions, we could just mention them ahead of time. Mention them ahead of time, and then of course remember to go 5 to 1.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then we're also at the end of this, we're going to discuss our worst song of the year. We're going to have one worst song of the year. There can be honorable mentions on those as well, but that's going to be a separate go around.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I really didn't have any honorable mentions here. I could have, but then I was like,
Oh, it's not a requirement. I don't have
Oh,
it
I
for
know,
every
it's
no, it's not.
Yeah.
And I only put the honorable mentions in there because I knew Tommy for one, and on certain years me for sure.
Certain years,
there's just going to be certain
yeah.
ones where you're like, man, that needs to be on the list, but
Yeah.
it can't. Can I just like mention the name?
Well, I mean, when we
know?
get to 1987, I'm just going to be presenting the entire chart, and that's going to
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tommy's number one for 1987 is the whole chart.
the entire chart, right, from top to bottom.
That's how I am for 1967. So, okay, so let me do mine. Let me pull up my list. Okay. All right. Oh, I do have runners up for this, but nothing major. I mean, I don't even know if these even. Well, but, a couple things that were vying for the list that didn't make it were "Misty" by Errol Garner Trio. I kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
And an artist that I actually discovered while going through these lists. I had never heard of her, never heard the songs, and I like them. They're not going to usurp the ones I have on my list, but these are good. Teresa Brewer, which has two great singles from this year, "Jilted" and "Bell Bottom Blues."
Oh, Jilted. Yeah.
I didn't know those tracks.
Oh, yeah.
I discovered them in this process, and thumbs are aloft there. But but onto my list. Something I noticed going through these lists. I know you noticed this, Tommy. I don't know if you did, but a lot of artists or a lot of songs, there are multiple versions of the same song
in that year.
Yeah. You often there's two, sometimes there's three, and sometimes there's four.
Yeah, 50s was really
A lot
heavy
of that.
with that.
Yeah.
Like The High and the Mighty. There were 4 versions of The High and the Mighty in 1954.
Wow.
On the Billboard charts. We're not talking, there probably were more versions of songs that just didn't chart.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Definitely.
But anyway, so onto my list. Song number 5 is Joe Stafford with "Make Love to Me." Yeah, and now this is probably one of the earliest examples of the way pop music is now, because 10,000 people wrote that song and they stole it on top of it. So that's the beginning of where we are now in pop. And
right.
I really love the easy swing feel, and I love her deep sort of kind of it's not really a smoky voice, but she has a really nice warm,
It's sexy.
sexy voice. Number 4, I have Nat King Cole with "Answer Me, My Love."
Oh.
And now Nat King Cole is one of those artists that I love as an artist. I don't have a thing about specific songs with him. I'm the same way with Sinatra. I go through the singles and stuff, and I realize none of the singles are just standout songs to me. I just like Sinatra.
The whole thing.
I
Yeah.
could put on Sinatra, any record, and just listen to it, and I like it all. And I'm like that with Nat King Cole. "Answer Me, My Love" is on here, and the only reason it's up to number 4 over Joe Stafford is simply because it's Nat King Cole. He gets an extra point for being Nat King Cole.
That's fair.
Number 3, Bill Haley and the Comets with "Shake, Rattle, and Roll." And the lyrics are beyond misogynistic, but you have to kind of go, okay, it was the 50s. That was then, this is now.
Yeah.
Whatever. And on the label, it's listed as a foxtrot. That's how
Interesting.
early we are in rock and roll. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's calling it rock and roll yet. It's a foxtrot. So, number 2, we have the great Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh.
with his breakthrough first hit, "Hey There."
Oh, man.
Yeah. And like he put out this record, and right after this record came out and started having success, that's when he got in his accident. His eye went out.
Yeah.
And then my number one on the list, "Shaboom" by the Crew Cuts.
Oh, my God.
Yes, even over Sammy Davis Jr. Shaboom, goes back to some of my earliest musical memories because I had that day the Dick Clark 20 Years of Rock and Roll record, and that was one of the songs on that album, and that's one of the songs that I really liked on it. So it just kind of it's always
hitting you where you live.
right there. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Tommy's turn.
All right.
All right.
So I do have a couple of honorable mentions. They almost made it. Dean Martin with Sway.
Oh
Yeah. Sway. Yep. And Perry Como with Papa Loves Mambo.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. See, now there were a few different crazes that went on in the 50s that are very reminiscent of that 6-week period in time in the 90s when everyone was swing dancing. So Mambo was a big one in 54, and I guess into 55 too. So I had to have Papa Loves Mambo. But we're starting out my list, number 5, Rosemary Clooney, Mambo Italiano.
I thought about that too, yeah.
This is a proper ridiculous song. It truly is. Loaded with terrible Italian-American stereotypes, but being that I'm from Long Island and half Sicilian, it's okay for me to like this song.
You're allowed.
Yeah, no one else can, but it's okay for me.
Okay.
So, you mixed up Siciliano. I can do that.
All right there, Carmine.
That seems fair.
So number 4, we've got the Chordettes with Mr. Sandman.
Oh, I thought about that too.
Yep.
I love that song.
That song's so representative of the early and mid 50s for me. And then number 3, we've got the Penguins, Earth Angel.
Oh yeah.
With what?
Earth Angel.
Oh, of course.
Earth Angel. I mean, how could we not have Earth Angel on the list?
Yeah.
So what beats Earth Angel? What comes in at number 2? I also have Bill Haley and his Comets, Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Which it's kind of funny because I made the joke earlier in the episode about white guys putting out a record and it besting the original. So this is a little bit hypocritical of me, but I do think it's better than the original. Big Joe Turner, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the Bill Haley version. I just think it's just a better representation of the song.
What?
I do. I like Bill Haley's version better.
Blasphemy.
I do. I know.
Well, also sometimes it's a matter of what you heard to, maybe you heard it as a kid, and that's just the one that got into your blood. It just
seems more appropriate to me, yeah. But number one...
if you heard the Pat Boone version first, you would certainly love that one.
We'll be discussing Pat Boone in later 50s episodes. But my number 1 is also Shaboom. But... not the bullshit version by the Crew Cuts. No. My Shaboom is by the Chords.
The Chords.
The real version of Shaboom. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I just the Crew Cuts is just the one that I grew up with.
No. The Chords, Shaboom, holy. That's got so much flavor. It's got so much style. I mean, that's the best version of Shaboom. You listen to the Chords version of Shaboom and you listen to the Crew Cuts, and it's like, what the hell went wrong here? I don't know.
Even when Tommy and I agree, we disagree.
Yeah. Oh, now everybody has to listen to these songs and make up your own mind.
Yes.
And
you guys.
say
Which version of Shaboom is the better one?
Better. Yeah.
And it's the Chords.
It's going to be a fight.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about our worst song of the year. Like I said, we're just going for one song, but if you have runners up, just other things that are just so shitty that you just got to get them off your chest, feel free to mention them.
I have one and one song only that I hate the most from 1954. It makes my skin crawl in so many ways. I hate it, hate it, hate it. With every fiber of my being, I hate it.
Cannot wait to hear what
How many ways can one's skin crawl?
A lot.
Make one's skin crawl.
A lot. And that song is Oh My Papa by Eddie Fisher. Okay, I can't stand Papa. I hate that. It's Papa, not Papa. And then, oh my Papa, to me you were so beautiful. Whatever the fuck he's singing. I can't stand it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But what I'm really loving about this whole thing, I don't know if you remember this commercial from the 70s, but it was one of those, it wasn't K-Tel, but it was one of those song compilation things.
Ronco.
Yeah, and it, songs of the 50s, and it's like, jilted, I've been jilted, and then just goes song to song to song. And this one is like breaks, it makes that commercial come to a screeching halt. Because it's right in the middle, and it's like, ooh,
So
Rock around the clock. Oh.
you were just about to get on your phone and order the record, and then
And that was it. I hate that song.
well,
And scene.
my chosen least favorite of the year. Now, isn't really that egregious. I don't actually really dislike it that much. It was kind of the best I could do for this year. All the years after this, I have crap on offer. This time, I have something that you're familiar with. That's Amore by Dean Martin.
Oh no!
I really, that's not an absolute terrible song, but I don't like it. I've been mixture, I like a big pizza pie.
That's Amore.
That's Amore.
That's one of those things. Whenever I listen to one of those old stations,
What am I missing here? That's Amore.
That's Amore.
that needs to be a lesse, is what it needs to be.
Paul totally lost the room here.
Tippy tippy tay. I mean,
Tippy tea,
that's
tippy
Amore.
tippy.
Like a good. Oh, it's so good. That's Amore. The backing vocals. That's Amore. Oh, it's so good. But I can understand not liking it.
Sorry.
I totally get it.
I don't like it.
No. Finish that.
I don't have anything else. Well, that's the thing is, I don't.
Go ahead.
Like I said, I don't consider it that egregious of a song, so I don't have like a huge tirade to go on. I just, out of all the things I saw listed, I thought, well, yeah, we'll go with that.
Makes sense.
So
Look,
my hate songs will get much more passionate as we move along in this series. Trust me.
That's good.
All right. So over to my worst of the year. My worst of the year is Shaboom by the Crew Cuts.
What? No way. No
Let me
fucking way.
explain. So I wrote. This is a perfect example of a terrible trend in popular music in the 50s.
He has to have a treatise, ladies and gentlemen.
Take a killer song, wipe it clean of any trace of soul, have white guys sing it, and watch it chart higher. Shaboom by the Crew Cuts. Worst of the year.
That's the thing. I've got to give you that, but I just...
Wait, hold on.
In terms of
Let me just savor this. Paul never gives me anything.
Well, no, in
Probably not going to
general,
happen again during the...
just as a general trend, I give that to you. But I'm not that familiar with the chords version. So maybe we had so many songs to go through, and I knew there was a chords version, but I didn't really go back and listen to it.
Gotcha.
So maybe I would go back and go, oh shit, okay.
We're gonna listen to it. We're gonna listen to it after this.
Do you know that version?
I do know that version. Yeah.
I think you
that
need
version?
it in your life. It's probably
I
a
do
minute and
prefer that
50
version.
seconds. So
Yeah. I mean, just for me, it wasn't even a second thought. Crew Cuts was just the one because that's the one I always loved since I was 4.
Yeah.
I simply didn't know the other version. So
It's a fair.
who knows? Maybe I'm about to learn a little something, huh?
Maybe.
All right, so that's it for 1954, I believe. Right? Have we forgotten anything?
That's it.
54.
Yeah, all right.
That is all.
We loved everything. We hated everything. Cool. We're good. I don't know how often we're gonna be doing this. How often I'm gonna be putting them out? Maybe one a week. Maybe one every couple weeks. But I got to figure out a way to where they come out at a pace to where it doesn't take us 3 years to get to the 90s. So we'll see. This is we're baby steps. We'll be figuring this out as it goes along. And so that's that. And we will be seeing you in 1955.